Marvel has a huge panel coming up next week at CCXP. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk all things major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much more. I'm your host Chris, and today we get to dive into all of the possibilities during the CCXP event and how Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios will be there with a few important panels and what exactly it is that you should expect. Oftentimes, at events like this, we get updates such as trailers, new announcements, and other types of sneak peeks, but what exactly is the purpose of Kevin Feige joining this event? We'll dive into all of that and much more in today's video, but if you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our other major movie and television news updates happening daily here on the channel. You can also follow me on my other socials, Instagram at Chris M. Rosser and Twitter at TheCultureChris. Links to both of those are in the description down below. So the next major event for Marvel Studios has been revealed, and it is going to be CCXP, which stands for Comic-Con Experience. It's an event in Brazil, and Marvel Studios has a panel on December 1st, so next Thursday. Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige will be headlining the panel, so he will be there, and joining him will be the cast of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So first and foremost, what can we expect at this event? Well, the headline title kind of gives away a little bit. We can expect some Ant-Man and the Wasp news and some Guardian and the Galaxy news. Seeing that these two movies will be the next to release, Ant-Man and the Wasp releasing February 17th, 2023, just around the corner, and then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 releasing May 5th, 2023, also really just around the corner. These are two massive projects. So it makes very perfect and clear sense for us to expect them to dive into these as we're starting to prepare marketing for Phase 5 for 2023, for some new movies, some new multiverse storylines, and much more. With the recent changes happening over at Disney, and I'm referencing the Bob Chapek being replaced with Bob Iger, who was the CEO and chairman prior to Bob Chapek, and there's a lot of drama there. The board wasn't happy with how Disney was being run and some decisions that were being made, but specifically for Marvel, people seem to think that there was a quota, that the amount of Marvel Studios Disney Plus projects and movies that we were getting piled on top of each other, which many would agree has led to loss of storytelling, CGI and digital completion, maybe in some interests even acting. We've lost some of that quality that Marvel Studios really kind of upped the ante with during the first three phases during Phase 4. People are saying, well, that was because Bob Chapek was demanding a quota in order to push Disney Plus subscribers and numbers, ultimately making more money on that end. So there are rumors going around now that Bob Chapek has stepped down that they might be reorganizing Phase 5, potentially pushing back or even removing a few projects, and that's something that people are wondering whether or not Kevin Feige will be addressing at all during CCXP next week. It would be very disappointing to hear that Marvel is removing or delaying projects, especially after 2020 and all of the different delays we got through all of the studios from COVID, which absolutely was rough. Every day we'd wake up as YouTubers, new video, well, this movie's been delayed, this movie's been delayed another year, this one's been pushed back. It was every day a new update and very disappointing. And Phase 4 was completely restructured because of it. So as we move into Phase 5 with Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special coming out now, that's the last Phase 4 project. Ant-Man and the Wasp is kicking off Phase 5. We were hoping for that stability. Here's the plan, here's the map, here's the order of the shows, go and enjoy it. But it seems like we might not have that stability still with all of the Disney drama, the CEOs turning over, and now maybe Marvel shaving off a few of those extra projects that it was forced to do in order to pay all the bills that Disney have. Now, we all know as fans that Phase 4 wasn't the best phase Marvel's ever had. It wasn't expected to be and definitely didn't need to be, but the question always does remain, where was Marvel lacking? And it sadly is some of that storytelling. For me, as a fan, and you can tell me what you think in the comment section down below, the CGI, it just isn't the end of the world. If Hulk looks a little funny, or Black Widow looks like she's falling and there's a green screen behind her, it doesn't really ruin the experience for me. If anything, it makes for some pretty funny memes, and we can move forward. But it's in a few of the Disney Plus series where the storytelling was a little weak. Ms. Marvel had huge issues identifying who the villain was. We were moving into the finale and nobody knew who the bad guy was the entire time, and then they showed up and it was done. She-Hulk, although coming from a completely different perspective, was very difficult to follow for kind of the same reasons. There was no real villain. Yes, there were people who were up to some mischievous stuff and there was all this background information, but there was no true connection from Disney Plus to the MCU other than we know it's happening in the same timeline, and that's something that I hope they can square away. Now, CCXP isn't necessarily the place to address all of these issues or to completely rewrite the slate of Phase 5, but I think personally as a fan, I would rather see them reorganize Phase 5 before we start getting projects in it. And since Ant-Man and the Wasp is happening in February, this might be their last opportunity at a major panel to be like, hey guys, we have to reassess the amount of projects we're dropping, since in this 2-year span, we're dropping so much. If you recall back in 2008, we got Iron Man, and then a couple years later we had Captain America. It was a slow build into the Infinity Saga. We're already through the entirety of Phase 4, and nobody's really that satisfied with the majority of movies that came out. And that's based off of what you guys have told me in the comment section, what I've seen on Twitter. The overall vibe of Phase 4 has probably been leaning towards negative. Yes, there have been some amazing projects, and I'm very excited for Phase 5. We have some big stuff coming. But those changes need to happen in order to up the quality of the storytelling, and yes, in some instances, the digital effects, the CGI, all of that background stuff. What else can we expect? Well, hopefully, we'll be getting a trailer that will feature first look at MODOK. We'll be getting an updated trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and even more hopefully than that, they won't be exclusive to CCXP. DC, the DCU now, is very well known for dropping trailers at CCXP. Marvel Studios, perhaps not as much. They tend to drop them at SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con, which earlier this year in 2022, we got the entire slate reveal for Phase 5 at that very Comic-Con. But all of the trailers that were given, except for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Secret Invasion, were exclusive to people who were at the event. So hopefully they will release a Guardians of the Galaxy first look, a short little teaser trailer for us. Hopefully they will also reveal Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer 2. I think both of these are likely possibilities. Probably more likely we'll be getting Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer 2, featuring a first look at MODOK, another new look at Kang, and getting a little bit more of that plot storyline. But it sounds like it's going to be a pretty incredible movie. This is going to be one of the bigger movies we've gotten, pushing the narrative of the multiverse saga storyline forward, as Kang will truly be introduced, and it's my personal opinion that we're going to be seeing more than one Kang, kind of battling it out against each other, and Ant-Man stuck in the middle. And maybe we can see that in the trailer, and I'd be really excited to kind of get a little bit of a grasp of what we're expecting come February. Guardians of the Galaxy dropping a trailer would also be a massive treat. And then, of course, as I mentioned, if Kevin Feige does address at all any of the changes, even if he says, hey guys, we know there's a new CEO, we know that there is a lot of rumors going around about the direction of Marvel Studios because of all of those changes, everything's remaining the same. That would be awesome. But if there are changes, if they are going to push back or get rid of some projects, I hope they let us know now before we get into the thick of Phase 5. Let me know your guys' thoughts about this in the comment section down below. What are some other things you're hoping for Marvel or for DC or anybody gets announced during CCXP next week? As always, thank you to everybody who watched till the very end of the video. If you found it helpful, useful, or entertaining, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell. And I'll be sure to catch you guys all in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.